Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your November 2015 General Tarotscope. It's Raina here. Happy birthday to you, November babies. I think for this month that a lot of you guys will be focusing on promoting yourself as well as money in various forms. For instance, there is second house activity of the money that you earn, as well as the eighth house of money that you get from other sources, whether it be through passive income like dividends or through inheritances or even from a spouse's coffers. So it seems to be shaking out in that sense. And in terms of love, I think that there will be some past life influences that come into play here because Venus is going into your 12th house, which is the house of the unconscious. And this happens on the 8th of the month. And with Venus in this house, it could be kind of a time when you meet up with people that you've known in other incarnations, or it can also mean that there is a romance that has started that has kind of a spiritual basis. It's not just the typical type of relationship, and that it's very cosmic. And it can be very good for artists as well, because the kind of inspiration that you have is like a celestial variety. It's not grounded in anything from the material world. So the month starts out with the sun in your sign. So this is kind of the period for Scorpios to shine and have the spotlight on them. I don't think that a lot of Scorpios really want this necessarily because you guys tend to enjoy being behind the scenes in the ways in which you act, and you don't necessarily like to be front and center. And yet it can be very helpful for those who are trying to get a job and need to sell themselves, as well as those who have their own business and are looking to increase their clientele list as and sell whatever products they offer. So whether it's something that comes naturally to you or not, it gives you a little bit of a boost to have the sun there. And then Mercury will be joining the sun in this house on the second of the month. This gives you a consistency that enhances your image because people see you as an effective communicator. Mercury in Scorpio is a type of expression that really gets down to business and pares down excess. And not all suns and Scorpios have Mercury in Scorpio in their natal charts. Some might have Sag or they might have Libra. And Mercury in Scorpio can be very penetrating in its thoughts and in its comments. The shadow side is to really cut people to the quick. So, this is the thing to obviously watch out for. And then we have Mars going into Libra on the 12th of the month. So until the 12th, it will be in your 11th house, which is really great for any kind of socializing, especially if you are trying to network for business, because you will have much more motivation and the energy in order to do so. And then when it goes into your 12th house, it's kind of a place where Mars does not feel comfortable because Mars is all about overt activity, and the 12th house is all about internal reflection and also just not even being aware of the individual self and kind of floating in the sea of unified souls, that sort of thing. So Mars in the 12th house sometimes feels very stymied and wants to burst free. So if you have excess energy at this time during this transit, the best thing to do is to use physical exercise that helps to keep the etheric body free. And this would involve hatha yoga or tai chi and that sort of thing. And that might counter any kind of restlessness that occurs. The new moon is going to be in your sign on the 11th of the month. And it's really because 1111 is a portal, the double pillars. It really can be a time for you to reinvent yourself, set intentions for a life that you would like to manifest that is really set intentions that speak to your wildest passions. Because even though Scorpio is a water sign and the water signs are based in emotions rather than logic, and this can sometimes lead to illogical beliefs. Dreaming big is never a bad idea, especially at the time of your solar return. So imagine exactly the life of your dreams and what it would look like, where you would live, what type of house you would live in, what kind of things you would do. And don't assume that it's impossible. Just use this time to expand your sense of possibility. We have a full moon on the 25th, and this is occurring in your eighth house of other people's money at 3 degrees of Gemini. So, again, some sort of culmination, some sort of awareness about other people's money. And this could lead to an increase in this source of income as well, as the full moons can sometimes do. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, Scorpio, the first card I picked to describe the current state of affairs for you is the Four of Pentacles. So going into the month of November, you probably will already have a very good handle on your money matters. And it's not surprising that I started this reading with the Pentacles card, which relates to money, because this reading is all about money. So it's a positive card because fours are foundations, and this indicates that there's stability in your finances. Of course, you always have to be on the lookout for your attitudes towards money. Do you hold on too tightly to it? Because this person is really kind of almost embracing the money. And that can be a good thing. I think that we should embrace money. It seems to me that either there is a pushing away energy that some people have, like a resistance or a repulsion, or that there is a clinging. And these are the two extremes. Embracing is different. It's accepting, but it's not clinging. If we're hugging someone, we're not clinging to them. We're just welcoming them into our fold. But I believe that Scorpio is one of those signs that has a tendency to be very Spartan sometimes with their finances, whether they need to be or not. And this can lead to unnecessary deprivation. This can lead to lack consciousness, and there is no lack to speak of. So it's something to kind of consider as you go into this month with these opportunities to increase your money. The message from the universe is the moon card. And of course, this is all about intuition and going within, which is funny because you have the spotlight on you for those 3 weeks starting the month. So while you are possibly promoting yourself or receiving extra attention at this time, whether it's because it's your birthday and people are visiting you, or because you just happen to come alive at this time, which isn't surprising when the sun is warming, your spirit. It's understandable that you would become more outgoing. But whatever is going on in the external world Always check in with yourself, especially with that Venus in the 12th house. Again, that's happening on the 8th of the month because any person that you meet during this time may be somebody that you have a karmic link with. And remember that past life connections aren't necessarily overtly positive. Sometimes they are very difficult. And you keep attracting one another because there's a part of you that has some sort of attraction to that person, but there can be negative attractions to people. Just like with energetic cords, we can have a link with somebody that is a psychic vampire, and we don't want that link, but we don't know how to get rid of it. The two cards related to action and advice, one is the Empress and the other is the Knight of Swords. The Empress is all about being the Earth Mother, and this isn't gender specific. This could be a man, but it's a nurturing type of energy, but also a sensual celebration. And this totally counters that idea of the Spartan mentality that I was speaking of. Knight of Swords means that something unexpected may occur. It can also relate to a particular person who blows into town and upsets the apple cart and is very aggressive about the truth, almost like a crusader. This could be anyone, particularly a male, but wielding the sword means that they are using communication to shake things up. So just be aware of that if there's somebody in your life who is like that. But the outcome is the Three of Pentacles. And this is a wonderful card, again with the Pentacles, again with the monetary concerns, but it could also relate to an endeavor that you launch that has a lasting value. So it doesn't just mean dollars and cents, it can mean something valuable in the long run and something that can put you in front of other people. So it could even be about teaching and lecturing and that sort of thing. So because you have this energy in the first house for most of the month, I can see you being put before people in some fashion, even if it's you doing it yourself by promoting yourself on the job front. So I hope that you enjoyed this general reading, Scorpio. If you would like something more specific, I have a variety of options on my website and I have the link below. Take care.